Hello and welcome to this presentation of CEMS and the CEMS Masters in International Management. CEMS is a unique network of 33 leading business schools from around the world, and NHH is the only Norwegian member of CEMS. Together the CEMS schools deliver the CEMS Masters in International Management. My name is Jan Haaland and I'm the Academic Director of CEMS at NHH. In this presentation I'll tell you why you should apply for the CEMS MIM, as we call it, what CEMS is, what it requires, and how you apply. First of all, I should say that CEMS is like a double degree. You take CEMS and your NHH Master all in 2 years. By taking CEMS, you also get a very well recognized top international management degree, and you get access to unique networks of companies, organizations, students, and alumni. At NHH, you can combine CEMS MIM with any of the majors in the master program. CEMS is, in fact, a one-year program, but it's fully integrated in the 2-year masters at NHH. So you take it at the same time as you take your major. So why should you choose CEMS? Well, there are many things that make you stand out as a CEMS student. You get a unique international experience and international knowledge and competences. You get skills and competences that companies require and that are needed for international leadership. And you do get in close contact with international companies and organizations and a unique network of students, alumni, and corporate partners. And you don't have to choose between CEMS and one of the majors at NHH. CEMS comes in addition, so you can still choose your preferred major. CEMS is highly recognized. Since the Financial Times started its rankings in 2005, CEMS has always been among the top 10 programs. In the most recent ranking in 2019, it was number 8 on the list. And it's also worth noting that of the top 10 positions, 6 of the CEMS schools were placed there. It also is doing well in other rankings. So the Economist ranking on master programs in 2019, it also became number 8 on the list, and the same is true for the QS Top University ranking. What I'll do now is to tell you all you need to know about CEMS and CEMS MIM. Let me just say that these pictures are from one of the recent graduations of CEMS. There is an annual graduation for all the CEMS candidates from all the 33 schools towards the end of each year. At NHH, we are a dedicated CEMS team in charge of the program. Norun is the program manager. She is in charge of making sure that the program runs as it should and that you as CEMS students have access to the information and the support you need to succeed as a CEMS student. Maria is the CEMS corporate relations manager, so she is in charge of all contact with the corporate and the social partners of CEMS. Tina is the academic coordinator of the business projects, which is a very important part of the CEMS program. I'll come back to what the business program is, business projects are later on. And I am, as I said, the academic director. CEMS is a truly international organization and it gives you a truly international learning experience. It was founded in 1988 by 4 leading European business schools. NHH joined in 1992 and it has since expanded first in Europe and later on globally. Today there are 33 leading business schools from all continents. There are also corporate and social partners. Around 70 multinational companies are corporate partners of CEMS and 6 NGOs. The CEMS schools together recruit a large number of CEMS students every year. And they come from a large number of countries and nationalities as well. More than 1,300 students in 2019-20 from 80 countries. And there are alumni all around the world with a background from CEMS. You'll find all the information you need at cems.org. The vision of CEMS is, first of all, to be a unique global network or community. It comprises the world's leading students, schools, alumni, and corporate and social partners. And more importantly for you, it delivers the leading international Masters in Management program that prepares responsible leaders that contribute to a more open, sustainable, and inclusive world. That is the leaders for the future. CEMS is, as I've said already, a one-year program, fully integrated in the two-year Masters at NHH. There are some mandatory components of the CEMS year and some elective components. Let me just take you through a couple of the components. It starts in the fall semester with what's called the block seminar, which is a one-week, very intensive seminar where you get to know the other CEMS students and get to know the CEMS spirit and what CEMS is about. But you also get to learn and work on something which is perhaps not in the core curriculum of a business program, but which are very important topics. So at NHH, for the last few years, the block seminar topic has been on design thinking. Then in the fall seminar, there is a mandatory course in global strategy, and you choose elective courses in addition. In the spring seminar, you start with a 2-day global citizenship seminar, which focuses on sustainability issues of importance for businesses. And there is a mandatory global leadership course and some other elective courses. A very important part of the spring semester is the business project. It counts for 15 ECTS for all students, and it is working on real business problems with corporate or social partners. I'll come back to this later on. And then there is what CEMS call the third semester, which is a mandatory international internship. You need to take at least 8 weeks internship in an international company as part of the program. In addition, there are requirements to a number of skill seminars, and there are language requirements. I'll come back to all of this later on. You may notice that it says Term 1, School 1, and Term 2, School 2. During the CEMS year, you spend 1 year in your home school and 1 year in one of the other, a half year in one of the other CEMS schools. You may not always look at the learning objectives of programs, but it is useful from time to time to take a look at what the overarching learning objectives is of a program. For the CEMS MIA program, these 5 bullet points constitute the overall learning objectives. It focuses, as I've already said, on international issues, international leadership and so on. But it also focuses on responsible, comprehensive leadership and on being business embedded, being very close to business challenges, problems, ways of doing things. Even if you don't look at the learning objectives every day, it's useful from time to time to take a look and see where the various elements of the CEMS program fit into the learning objectives of the overall program. As I've said already, CEMS can be combined with any of the majors at NHH. You could take CEMS as your first or your second year in the master program at NHH, and you may need to do some adjustments depending on how you do this. So, first of all, you need to make sure that at least 2 of your CEMS electives are also courses in your major at NHH. Secondly, you need to make sure that you fulfill the NHH requirements of things like empirical methods course and ethics courses. And thirdly, if you choose to have CEMS as your second year, you need to make sure that you start the work on your master thesis fairly early so that you manage to complete everything in the 2 years you have. But all of this is doable and very easy to fit into the program. There are a number of CEMS elective courses constructed in such a way that you can find courses from all of the majors at NHH and do the combinations I just talked about. The list of CEMS electives is updated at least once a year before the fall semester. As I said already, you spend a semester in one of the other CEMS schools. There are 33 schools around the world, and you as a CEMS student would give your priorities as to where you would like to go. It's of course such that all of you can't go to the most well-known schools like LSE or Cornell, But if you think a little bit out of the box, if you look at the qualities of all these schools and look at your preferences, I'm pretty sure you'll find something which is high on your list of preferences for your semester abroad. Very much of the CEMS activities are related to case-based learning with corporate partners or social partners. Skill seminars, business projects, the Global Citizenship seminar, and also workshops during the year are all very closely done with corporate or social partners and based on real-world problems in a case-based way of doing things. There are around 70 corporate partners of CEMS at the moment. These are all international or global companies working in many markets. Here's a list of the logos of some of these companies. If you go to cems.org, you get the complete list. And I've mentioned social partners several times. There are at the moment 6 social partners. These are typically NGOs or similar companies or organizations working on sustainability issues or other social responsibility issues. These organizations are very keen to work with top-level business students, and they engage very much in business projects and skill seminars and so on in the CEMS network. Skill seminars are an integral part of CEMS. You take several of these. They could be half-day or full-day seminars. Here's only some examples of the skill seminars we had at NHH last year. You could also take skill seminars on some of the regional arrangements like the Nordic Forum or the global CEMS activities like the Global Career Forum. The purpose of the skill seminars is to, first of all, give you insights into interesting topics that the business sector is focusing on, challenges or other opportunities. It gives you a possibility to apply your skills and competences on real-world issues, to learn something new, to work together with other students, and to get feedback and network with corporate partners. The business project, which I mentioned before, takes place in the spring semester. It is 15 ECTS, so it's approximately half of your work as a student in the spring semester. And it's an opportunity to work closely with other international students. You work in teams of 3 to 5 international students. And the most important part is that you work with corporate or social partners on real business challenges, real business problems. The corporate partners specify their projects in advance, and then you work very closely with a mentor from the corporate partner and with an academic mentor from NHH to try to help these companies work as a consultant, come up with recommendations for the companies. You also present your project to the partners. And based on the feedback we have from our corporate partners, very many of these recommendations have been extremely useful for the corporate partners and have been put into life later on. The internship is mandatory, as I said. It should be at least 8 weeks full-time work. It should be international, and it should give you an opportunity to both apply your skills and competences and to get a feeling of how it is to work in an international environment. By saying international, it means that you should take your internship in a country different from the country of your home school. There are a few exceptions. If you have done all your studies internationally, for example, you could be allowed to do your internship in the same country as the home school, but basically it is about getting international experience. And it should be completed before you graduate. I've mentioned international very many times so far. If you look at the graduate profiles of some students, here are some statistics. To the left, it's for the most recent cohort we have data for, the 2018 cohort. And if you see, look at this, almost all of them are employed. Almost all of them are working internationally, and 3/4 of them are working in multinational companies. To the right, you see the profile of CEMS alumni more generally. Again, they either have worked or are working internationally, and they have a fairly solid international experience on average. It's interesting to look at the final bullet point here. Almost all of them, 98%, would recommend the CEMS experience to others. So with this as background, I'll just say a few words about the application process if you want to become a CEMS student. There are a number of selection criteria. You should, of course, have a solid academic background, but it's not all about the grades. You should also show motivation for CEMS. You should have an international experience. You should have the personal skills that is suitable for a CEMS student, and so on. So it's a broad set of criteria. When you apply, if we find that your background is suitable as a potential CEMS student, you'll be invited to what we call the assessment center, which is an opportunity. First of all, you'll do some group work and case work, but also it's an individual interview. So this is an opportunity to tell us all about yourself, tell us about your motivation for CEMS, tell us about why you should become a CEMS student, why it's beneficial for you, and why it's beneficial for CEMS to have you as a student. So the assessment center, which takes place in January every year, is a very important part of the selection. There are language requirements in CEMS. You should be in command of 3 languages at various levels. You should, of course, be in high command of your mother tongue, but also in English. And then there's a requirement for a 3rd language at a slightly lower level. The entrance requirement is to be proficient in English and, of course, your mother tongue, whereas the 3rd language is an exit requirement. And here's a short list of possible ways of acquiring your language for the 3rd language. If English is your mother tongue, there are some other rules, but let's leave the details for later on. As a CEMS student at NHH, there are no tuition fees, as for all other students at NHH. There is a small, what's called a handling fee to CEMS of €100 per semester, but that's all there is of fees when it comes to being a CEMS student at NHH. There are also various sources of funding for your semester abroad and for your internship as part of the CEMS program. If you are in Europe, Erasmus Plus is an obvious source. If you are outside Europe for your semester abroad or for your internship, there are some other sources that you'll be informed about. The deadline for applying for CEMS is the 1st of November each year. You'll find all the details you need on the web page that's indicated here. It is important to stress that the deadline is definite, so you should make sure that you have your application in good time before the final deadline. And as I've said already, if you're successful in the first phase, you'll be invited to the assessment center in January for the final assessment of whether you're a suitable CEMS student or not. And once you become a CEMS student, you should make sure that you join the CEMS club. There is a CEMS club in every CEMS school. And the CEMS clubs do a lot of things for students in terms of both social and academic activities, both within the school and across the schools. So make sure you make the most of your CEMS year by being a part of the CEMS club, both in your host and your home school. If you have any questions or comments about CEMS or the CEMS Masters in International Management, please contact one of us from the CEMS team. You've got the contact details here. You'll also find a lot of useful information on various web pages. Some of these are listed here. So I really hope that this gave you an appetite for CEMS and that you'll consider applying for CEMS next time it's possible. And I really hope to see you as a CEMS student sometime in the future. Thank you.